Hi, boys and girls. Aunt Vicky is always fooling with her camera, trying to get it right, and the lighting's kind of hard, but I get there. Okay, the last time we were together, we talked about Aunt Vicky writing a holiday story for the boys and girls, and once again, my story does include angels, so I'm asking, please get your parents' permission before you view this little story with me, okay? Aunt Vicky is always very, very thankful when the children obey their parents, because I believe that if we're obedient to our parents, that good things become of that. I really believe that, boys and girls, and I hope that you do too. Well, okay, now to the story, the holiday story. Aunt Vicky did her best, okay? As always, my magical hat box, my magical teapot, and inside, that's right, boys and girls, your story that Aunt Vicky writes just for you. And okay, let's see what Cuddles and Spuddles get to enjoy today. My poem clue for boys and girls out there today is called A World. Spin with rhythm into a world of musical rhyme, sharing the songs with a heartbeat of time, always caring for those lost sadly in earthly things, those who cannot see the beauty nature brings. Be ever nursing, gentle and kind, for heaven surrounds you, like unto the calming summer breeze whispering things anew. Spin with rhythm into a world of musical rhyme, share in the songs with a heartbeat of time. There's your clue, boys and girls. Now to guess and to get it correct. Well, as Aunt Vicky always says, I know, boys and girls, you guess. You're so smart. I'm so proud of you. Yes, it's about a world, a different world, but one within inside the world that we live in. But it's still about a holiday too, okay? Aunt Vicky didn't forget and leave that out. Even though sometimes I do tend to forget things. Do you do that too? Cuddles and Spuddles, the world of born. Tender of Gardens was preparing to leave the sacred building when Cuddles and Spuddles came to the door and meowed softly. Slowly the door eased open as if by its very own self. The twin kittens could see Tender placing a long soft cloth over his harp. "Hi there, you two," called Tender. "Please come in." Cuddles and Spuddles raced to the front of the building just as Tender of Gardens, the angel, finished covering his instrument. Spuddles meowed. "Why are you covering up your harp?" "Well," said Tender, "I am going to visit some of my friends who live inside the hill here on Leafy Farm." Cuddles meowed. "Do you mean the big hill covered with woods?" "That's right," said Tender, "the one that the evening sun sets over." Spuddles meowed. "When the sun sets over the hill, me and Cuddles know it's time to go home and that supper is ready." "My," said Tender, "that is a wonderful way to tell time." "We don't really know how to tell time," meowed Cuddles, "but we know when the sun goes over that big hill, it's going to get dark." Spuddles meowed. "Tender, do your friends live on the hillside?" No, said Tender of Gardens. They live inside the hill. Cuddles meowed. Is it a sacred hill like this building and your garden? Said Tender. Let me see if I can explain this in a way you can understand. The hill is sacred too, but it is different than the garden. There is a door inside a very large magnolia tree that sits against the hill, and when you tap on the trunk of it, a door opens and leads you into a beautiful world with countrysides and pretty roads. There is also a town there with all kinds of stores and tiny little houses. There are very small horses there that fly, and they are called unicorns. The unicorns are all sorts of colors, and they have a horn that grows ivy white out of the center of their forehead. They also have long flowing manes of hair running down their backs and pretty long tails that flow behind them as they fly. Oh, meowed Cuddles and Spuddles. Do your friends ride them? Oh yes, said Tender of Gardens, for you see, the unicorns are very gentle and kind, and my friends who ride them are very tiny angels. Cuddles and Spuddles grew very curious of Tender's friends, and they meowed. What is a tiny angel? Tender looked at the two kittens with sort of a sad sigh. Then he explained, tiny angels are the little children we call unborn, which means that when they came to live on earth, they had to leave before they ever even got the chance to truly live their life. Cuddles meowed. But why did they have to leave so soon? Spuddles meowed. Yes, Tender. Why did they have to leave? Sadly sighing again, Tender answered, because some were born too early, and some were just not healthy enough to stay, while others were not wanted. The twin kittens meowed, and they told Tender that they felt very sorry for the tiny angels. Tender of Gardens said, my friends love each other very much, and they are very happy living in the world inside of the big hill. Then Tender looked at the kittens and asked them, would you two like to go visit my little friends with me? They are having a wonderful holiday celebration. You see, explained Tender, since none of the angels really have a birth date, they all gather once a year in their beautiful town and have a birthday holiday for everyone. Cuddles and Spuddles were jumping up and down in excitement. Yes, oh yes, Tender, they meowed. We want to go with you. Okay, said Tender, but once again, I must ask you to keep another secret. You must tell no one at all about the world inside the hill. Oh, we will never ever tell anyone. We will always keep your secret. Tender smiled and said, come on then, and let's get a move on while it's still early morning. Then Tender picked up the twin kittens, and away they flew out over Leafy Farm and up into the pretty morning sunlight. Down below, the kittens saw all of the Leafy's farm. Mr. Leafy was on his tractor, and the barnyard animals were out in the farmyard. Mrs. Leafy was hanging her fresh, clean laundry out in the morning sun and pinning it up onto the clothesline to dry. As they flew over the old mill pond, they saw Mr. Rivers fishing, while Marty the mama cat and Cat the sheepdog lay on the wooden bridge napping. They even saw old Wiser the owl sitting perched on top of the mill pond house. Cuddles and Spuddles loved flying with Tinder, and it was so wonderful to look down and see the whole farm as they flew higher and higher into the sky. They flew over the tall woods, and soon they had come to the big hillside. And Tender of Gardens, the heavenly angel, flew down to the ground right in front of the magnolia tree he had told them about, and he gently placed Cuddles and Spuddles upon the ground. Tender tapped on the trunk of the tree. Suddenly, the side of the tree opened wide. It was a door that led inside, and Tender said, "Come and let's go into the world of Born." The twin kittens slowly walked in behind Tender of Gardens. Suddenly, tiny small people with wings were fluttering all around the kittens, and to say the least, it did surprise them, for Tender had not told them about the wings. As quickly as the angels came fluttering up, the unicorns came flying in behind them. The twin kittens thought the little angels and unicorns were so beautiful, and each unicorn belonged to an individual angel. You see, the angels had pink wings and some had blue wings, but each angel had a unicorn with the wings that matched to his or her own. There were so many pretty colored wings. Some were bright yellow, some were gold, while others were green and even red. Cuddles and Spuddles had never seen so many different colored wings. Tender of Garden told the tiny angels that Cuddles and Spuddles were the twin kittens who lived on Leafy Farm. One of the angels with bright, glistening blue wings began to giggle, and he said, "I know who they are. They're the kittens that followed the butterflies into the woods and got lost." Cuddles and Spuddles gasped. Well, they had no idea an angel had been out there in the woods that night. The twin kittens meowed. "Were you lost too?" Then the little blue-winged angel patted Spuddles and giggled again as he answered, "No, silly kitten. Angels don't get lost in Leafy's woods." "Come on," called Tender. "Let's begin the birthday holiday of the world of Born." Tender picked up Cuddles and Spuddles, and as they flew through the beautiful town, there were all kinds of gifts and presents lying inside a huge basket. All of them had names on them, for each little angel would receive their very own birthday present. Tender placed Cuddles and Spuddles down right in the middle in the center of the town, and he told them, "Go and have fun, for in the world of Born, there is nothing to harm you and nothing that will hurt you." The town was all lit up by kinds of different glowing lights. In fact, the whole world of Born glowed as by some magical power. And that power was called love. There were playgrounds and parks all around with swings and slides, and there was a beautiful carousel that floated all around, playing soft music, and there was even a large Ferris wheel that went up and down, and you could see the whole town of Bourne from the top of it. Small streetcar trolleys with angels on them were twisting in and out about the town, while the little angels held balloons and waved, calling to each other, "Happy birthday holiday!" Cuddles and Spuddles played on all the playgrounds and ran all about the parks, and as well they too were calling out and meowing, "Happy birthday holiday!" The trees in the world of Bourne were so fascinating to look at and to eat from too. Some of the trees grew very pretty striped lollipops. Some had chocolate-covered cherries on them. Others had coconut bonbon candy, and others had cinnamon sticks, while other trees grew all kinds of fruit that was juicy, juicy, sweet. Soon Cuddles and Spuddles heard a bell ringing from the town's beautiful courtyard square. The courtyard was lined with benches and chairs that sat right around a huge table in the middle of the square. Cuddles and Spuddles raced to the courtyard with the angels and the unicorns, and there in the center of the table was the biggest birthday cake the kittens had ever seen, and on top of it were thousands of sparkling candles. Tender of Gardens asked all of the world of Bourne to gather around, for it was time for birthday cake and ice cream. "Now," said Tender, "I shall count to 3, and then all together let's blow out the candles." Very slowly, Tender counted. 1, 2, 3. The angels and unicorns, Cuddles and Spuddles all played as hard as they could, and out went the flickering candles. Then, suddenly, in the world of Bourne, beautiful glittering snowflakes began to drift down, and heavenly instruments began to play as the little angels sang, ever so gentle and kind, the prettiest birthday songs that any world had ever known or heard. The world of Bourne rejoiced, and Cuddles and Spuddles, as well as Tender of Gardens, rejoiced with them. For no doubt the angels were little children unborn to the world of Bourne. The little children hugged each other and wished one another a very happy birthday. As the day continued on, everyone began to dance and to sing, and they ate the most delicious cake ever, and it was topped with the sweetest ice cream Cuddles and Spuddles had ever licked with their tiny little pink tongues. Finally, it was time to pass out all the birthday presents, and even Cuddles and Spuddles got a present. The twin kittens got matching collars with their names on them, and each collar had a little bell that dangled and made a tinkling, soft, angelic ringing noise. Cuddles and Spuddles played and played, and they loved the sound of their new collars. They had never had so much fun. But finally, The day was ending, and Tinder called out to Cuddles and Spuddles that it is now time to say goodbye. As the twin kittens and Tinder stood at the door of the world of Born, Cuddles and Spuddles were in his arms, and they flew away, but they looked back, calling down to the little children, "Happy birthday holiday to the whole world of Born." On the flight back to Leafy Cottage, poor Cuddles and Spuddles were so exhausted that they fell sound asleep in Tinder's arms. When Tinder of Gardens finally reached the cottage door, he quietly opened it. All of the Leafy's household was fast asleep. He placed Cuddles and Spuddles lovingly into their soft crepe box bed and covered them gently with the pretty handmade quilt. Then he started back to his building and garden and closed the kitchen door very slowly behind him. As Tinder was on his way home, he met Keeper of Heart and Seasons of Adorn. Tinder told them that he had been to the world of Born and celebrated the happy birthday holiday. The angels all sat for a while, looking up at the twinkling stars and the glowing white Milky Way. The big silvery moon shined down brightly upon Leafy Farm. Keeper of Heart talked about how healthy all of the barnyard animals were, and how healthy Mr. and Mrs. Leafy and even Mr. Rivers were. He said it seemed everyone on the farm was very happy, and he enjoyed taking care of each one of them. Seasons of Adorn spoke of a very early autumn that would soon be arriving, and how he was going to adorn the Leafy's woods with only the very, very prettiest of colored leaves, and lots of hay he intended to grow in the fields, with also a few extra big orange pumpkins for the twin kittens, so they could make them into glowing lanterns. The angels talked and spoke of all kinds of things. Then they got up and went their separate ways and wished each other a blessed farewell till morning light. That night, as all of the farm cottage slept beneath the starry skies, far away through the meadows and trees stood a very big hill, and from within, small voices were still singing "Happy Birthday Holiday" to the world of Born, as the angels above declared into Leafy's farm a happy, loving, blessed, sweet nighty-night. How was that, boys and girls, for a holiday story? Was that okay? Oh, I hope it was. I hope that you enjoyed it, and maybe you'll listen to it again and again. Sometimes when Aunt Vicky finds stories and little movies that she really liked, I watch them over and over. Yes, boys and girls. It has been a very lovely summer here at Thomas Cottage, and wherever you are in this great big world, my desire from my very heart is to wish you happiness and joy and all the blessings that the angels above can bring to the little boys and girls, not only here in America, but all around our beautiful world. Once more, Aunt Vicky asks you, when you are outside, please take notice of nature around you. It may be that there's something out there that you haven't seen. So once again, As always from Aunt Vicky, love and kindness and a sweet nighty-night, boys and girls. Much love.